folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again with the first of this week's reviews. It's Easter Monday. I hope you had a good Easter weekend. Too much chocolate for me, I guess. But anyway, here we are. We're in the United States. We're in Florida. And this is Palm Beach International Airport in Florida, the United States. Kilo Papa Bravo, India. This is a new payware scenery by Beautiful Model of the World and Amsim. These two developers collaborate on many airport releases, and you're looking at the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The download comes in at 668 meg and it installs at 1.62 gigabytes. Currently it's available from the Inibuilds store. Give you the prices. Is £16 and 2 pence, which equates to €18.74 or $20.51 US. Now the US and the Euro prices above that I've just quoted are all estimates taken from the UK pound, and they do not include tax or VAT, which of course may vary depending on your country of purchase. So there you go. This is a very popular airport. It's done quite well. Lots of airlines serve it, and we'll look at that in the history in a moment. So let's have a look at the features of this product. So features then, we have a detailed terminal area, high resolution custom ground textures including dirt and other details, custom ground markings, parallax windows, animated jetways. All airport buildings and objects have been fully modelled, airline codes assigned to parking, and custom animated runway guard lights, or what we call WIGWAGS in the UK. So from what I understand, there's no internal development as such here, but we will check that out. But they have used parallax windows extensively on the airport to give that effect. So again, quite a significant product and a very popular airport in this part of the world. Let's have a look at some history now. So history. Palm Beach International Airport, Kilo Papa Bravo, India, is a public use international airport owned and operated by the Palm Beach County Department of Airports. Located in Palm Beach County in Florida in the United States, the airport sits just west of the city of West Palm Beach, for which it serves as a primary airport. It is also the primary airport for most of Palm Beach County, serving the suburbs and cities of Wellington, Boynton Beach, Jupiter, and Palm Beach Gardens. It's the third busiest airport in the Miami metropolitan area after Miami International and Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood International Airport. Road access to the airport is direct from Interstate I-95, Southern Boulevard, and Congress Avenue. The airport is bordered on the west by Military Trail. Palm Beach International Airport began operations in 1936 as Morrison Field. It was named in honor of Grace Morrison, a key participant in the planning and organization of the airfield. The first flight departing the field was a New York-bound Douglas DC-2 aircraft operated by Eastern Airlines in 1936. The airport was formally dedicated on the 19th of December 1936. In 1947, the US Air Force, which had used the airfield during World War II and since the attack on Pearl Harbor, returned Morrison Field to Palm Beach County. The name was then changed to Palm Beach International Airport in 1948. Delta Airlines began scheduled flights in 1959 and Capital Airlines in 1960. The first turbine-powered flights were operated by Eastern Airlines using a Lockheed L-188 Electra in 1959, and Eastern Douglas DC-8 non-stops to Idlewild Airport in New York, now known as JFK, started in December 1960. Air Force One was a frequent visitor to Palm Beach during John F. Kennedy's presidency in the early 1960s. Local voters defeated a proposal to relocate the airport around this time, instead choosing to expand the existing facilities. In October 1966, an 8-gate main terminal opened on the northeast side of the airport, and in 1974 Delta Airlines moved into its own 6-gate terminal with the airport's first jetways. The FAA built a new air traffic control tower on the south side of the airport during this period too. Competition from the rapidly expanding Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International cut growth at Palm Beach Airport in the 1990s. The 2001 recession and the September 11th terrorist attacks further inhibited growth, but development in South Florida since 2002 has finally led to a surge of passenger traffic at the airport. In addition, discount carriers such as JetBlue and Southwest Airlines began services into and out of Palm Beach. Today, some 16 airlines operate into and out of Palm Beach Airport, along with 2 cargo operators. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office maintains its air division from a hangar at the southwest corner of the airport, and the Healthcare District of Palm Beach County operates the Trauma Hawk with Palm Beach County Fire and Rescue Service from a hangar at the southwest corner of the airport. So there you go, folks, that's some history. The place has been around for a while, as usual. The US Air Force maintained a presence here for some time before it was actually handed back to the civilian use. So let's look at runways now. Okay, so runways. So as you can see, we've lowered the lighting. It's 7:30 in the evening local time. It's March 31st, 2024. Palm Beach Airport operates 3 runways. Runway 10 left 28 right is the longest, measuring 10,001 feet or 3,048 meters. Runway 1432 comes next, measuring 6,931 feet or 2,113 meters. And finally, 10 right 28 left measures just 3,214 feet or 918 meters. All 3 runways are constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of 20 feet or 6.1 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -5 hours time zone. Now, Florida, like many US states, does indeed observe daylight saving time, or DST, and with the UK currently also on DST, we actually moved ahead an hour last night, the airport currently remains 5 hours behind the UK. So starting at runway 10 left, and we're looking down the throat of it now, you have high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and precision approach path indicators on the right side. So looking at this end, this is 10 left here, everything is correct. Here's the medium intensity approach lighting system. The PAPIs are on the right hand side. There's the center line. You also have identifier lights on the end here, which is useful. Approaches for this end of the runway, you have a standard instrument landing system, and you also have RNAV GPS options with Y and Z options for landing. So before we go to the other end, since we're here, let's look at 28 right here. So runway 10 right, 28 left, this is the shorter of the 3 runways. You have medium intensity runway lighting, which you can see, and you have runway and identifier lighting system, and it's the same at the other end. Now there are no published approach options for this runway. It's the shortest one, just over 3,000 feet. And I presume just daylight use only for visual landings. So let's go up the other end, have a look at 28 right. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 28 right, and I've lowered the lighting just a little more so we don't get blasted by the sunset. So runway 28 right has the same high intensity runway lighting, and again the centerline lighting which goes all the way down the runway. You have runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So once again, this runway is accurate as per the charts that I can see on Navigraph here. Approaches, you have the same as the other end, standard instrument landing system and an RNAV GPS approach with Y and Z options. So there you can see 28 left. As we said, this is the shortest runway with basically medium intensity lighting and no published approach options. So let's go and have a look at runway 1432. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 32, end of this is the runway 32 end. Now both ends feature medium intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lights and precision approach path indicators. Runway 32 on the left side here, and runway 14 should be on the right side. We'll have a look in a second. And once again you have RNAV GPS with Y and Z approach options for both ends. So quick look at runway 14 end. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 14, and once again exactly as per the charts. Runway and identifier lights. Here's the lighting, the center line which goes right the way down the runway, and the PAPI's on the right side as we said. Both ends of this runway have RNAV GPS approach options with Y and Z options, and this runway is grooved. So there you go folks, 3 runways, 2 of which are fully instrument approach capable. The smaller runway I suspect is used for VFR or daylight landings. So there you go. Let's get down onto the JETWAY test now. Okay, so JETWAYs. So here's my aircraft, the Phoenix Airbus A320 version 2, parked on stand Charlie 4. I've spawned straight from the menu. Interestingly enough, when I did this, the JETWAY itself moved straight to connect with my aircraft, so I actually had to back it away in order to show you the motion now. So now, as you can see, the JETWAY looks pretty impressive. It's well weathered. The stairs are raised, so there's nothing going to go into the concrete. So let's connect the JETWAY and see how it looks. Okay, the wheels at the bottom turn. This is probably one of the best visually looking JETWAYs I've seen for a while. And there we go, it looks like it's going to connect. Okay, the hood has gone through the skin, which is common with most JETWAYs. I'm not really going to complain about that. Let's have a closer look. So there you get a closer look at the JETWAY, which is pretty impressive looking. It's weathered, it's very, very nicely textured. And as you can see, the hood has actually gone through the skin, but not by much. Let's look from the other side. So that actually looks like a pretty good connection from here, to be honest. Yeah, okay, as I said, the rubber's gone into the skin. And this happens on most JETWAYs. They either go into the skin or the JETWAY actually doesn't get near enough to the aircraft and leaves a gap at the bottom. But this is probably the best of both worlds, and I think it looks quite impressive. And I really like the JETWAY, the way it's modelled. I mean, look at the dirt and the weathering on this. This is really good. So let's go inside the JETWAY and have a look at the door. Okay, so this is the best view I can get. Remember, the door is already open on the Airbus, and I can't go back any further, otherwise we sort of go into the door like this. So there you can see the door is open. It actually doesn't infringe the side of the hood, which is good. The aircraft, the JETWAY is right close up to the aircraft, which is good. So there's a view showing the top, and as you can see, the right side hood has gone into the JETWAY. But there at the bottom, that's a pretty good fit. Really is quite good. Let's have a look from inside the aircraft. So there's the JETWAY door fully closed. We're looking out from inside the aircraft, and that looks pretty good, to be honest. So here's a view of the JETWAY from the other side, and you know what? It looks pretty good. I really can't complain. This is probably one of the nicest. It's visually stunning. It really is beautifully modelled and weathered, and that makes all the difference. So let's disconnect it now. Again, the wheels move correctly. I was watching the JETWAY head to make sure it didn't attempt to go near the wing, but that looks pretty good. Even here, where the JETWAY rotates, really, really good. That's probably it's one of the best animations I've seen. It's not the best, but it is clearly one of the best. It's really impressive. I like it a lot. So that was a JETWAY test on Charlie 4. Now let's get down to the airport proper, as we usually do, and have a close-up look at this product. Okay folks, let's look at this airport and its surroundings in detail. We're going to start here at the far southeast corner, close to the GA area and the FBO. This is just off the airport here, and I think this is probably the limit of the scenery. Here's the Hilton Hotel, complete with swimming pool, tennis courts down there. I love the palm trees as usual. Fairly simplified, but all looks really nice, to be honest. No real issues at all. So here we are looking onto the airport. There you can see the airside fence, and we've got palm trees going down the road here, and this is runway 28 right threshold here. So let's start the tour and we'll head west. So as you can see, nicely done. Nothing untoward here. And the building modelling is just what we'd expect from these guys. Very, very nicely done. And that's quite a nice model building there too. And yeah, it all looks pretty nice, quite simplified. And here's the same area just seen from the land side here. And again, some nice modelling. Would have been nice to see some people, but you know, there you go. Kind of everything. Very nice, no real complaints apart from, like I said, just the lack of people. There's the VOR station below us, and now we continue westbound. We'll be crossing the threshold of runway 32. Now here you've got US Customs building, literally right on the corner here. And there's some quite nice modelling there. It's all nothing really to complain about. A couple of private jets. And yeah, all the buildings faithfully modelled and textured. No real complaints. It's just, I don't know, I just get used to the fact that some of these airports, they look visually wonderful, but they're just almost like a ghost town because there's no activity. You've got aircraft parked here, but no staff or engineers or anything on the ramp, which is a real pity. But I'm trying not to let that influence my opinion. What you can see has been beautifully done. It's just nice, no real complaints at all. And some more hangars, they're all closed. A couple of helicopter parking spots there too. And again, plenty of hangar space and parking space for you guys who aren't sort of into the airline business, as it were. So now we've got the hangars on the northwest corner. And more private aircraft. This is the NetJets base. And it all looks quite nice. So runway 14 threshold there. Now as we go towards the central area here, we've got the tower in front of us. And again, all looks pretty good. Some cargo facility down there. You've got the police vehicle down there to the right. Right, let's see if we've got anything in the tower. So it looks okay from the outside. And there you are, have the tower interior modelled, but unfortunately no controllers. But nevertheless, it's been modelled very nicely. The misted glass works really well. You can see out through the airport there. Would have been nice to have at least one controller in here. Okay, so here we go. I'm looking airside at the stands and the main terminal area. Again, some nice modelling, no real complaints at all, looks lovely. I purposely haven't looked too closely at the windows of the parallaxing. We'll probably do that when we drop it down to sunset, so I've got a feeling it's going to look better. So here's the big car park that's landside in the northeast corner. Again, plenty of different vehicles, all properly parked in their spaces. I can never understand why some developers just throw vehicles at a car park that looks so dishevelled. And again, nicely modelled roads as well, all in 3D, nothing left to chance. Here you've got FEDEX area, complete with an aircraft there. Looks like a 777. Yep, and there's the FEDEX building itself. There's the other side, complete with the trucks. So we pass over the bus facility here. Another big car park. There's the road to the right there, the highway. They've actually mixed this pretty well with the default scenery. It's really hard to tell in some places where the default is and where their scenery is. Fuel facility down there to the right. And there you can see bits of default scenery as well. So now we're coming to the terminal itself, central area. There's a multi-story car park, entrance down there to the right. Let's see what we can see here. It's nice, lovely. Palm trees really make it as well. A couple of police vehicles there. And again, a nice sort of landside area here. Looks very nice. And we have finally some people there. Very nice indeed. Another close look at landside. There's the multi-story with cars on the top and various cars and taxis down below. And the road system all beautifully modelled. I mean, this is typical Florida. And all the road signs. Very, very nice. So there's a high level shot from landside. I mean, it looks really impressive, doesn't it? So let's turn the lighting down to dusk. So 20 to 8 in the evening, lights came on about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Here's the same view with the subtle lighting at dusk. So we got some lighting around. It doesn't look too powerful, but it'll probably look better lower down. I just thought you'd have a look from there to see what it's like. And there we are looking out towards the coastline. So let's get down to the ramp where our aircraft is parked and see what it looks like down there. So here we are close up on Charlie 4 when my aircraft is parked, and there you can see the parallaxing on the windows, which looks quite good. The only problem is it does tend to warp if you go up close. You get that sort of option there, but other than that, it's not bad at all. Very nice indeed. So here's the view from the flight deck. This is what you'll see when you park up, looking straight out the front, and actually the parallaxing is good enough to make it look really good. A view from the captain's side, and looking across from the first officer's window. So here's a ramp overview. Again, you can see my aircraft there. The light is being presented from the correct sources, no globes floating around. The satellite piers are all nicely weathered. I mean, this looks really quite nice. Plenty of ground clutter, all looks pretty good. And again, just another look at the parallaxing windows. This is about as close as you can get before it starts to warp. As you go closer, you can see the image warps. Nice idea. And to be honest, it works quite well providing you keep your distance. And just a couple of shots around the central area here. You can see the lighting looks really quite good. It's very subtle, nothing really overdone. Some parts it looks a little dark. You've got a feeling that maybe these powerful lights here should be producing a bit more light. Got a feeling really this really should be upgraded a bit. Looks good here. Car park looks brilliant. And once again, going across airside here, it's great. And there you can see green centre line taxiway lighting as well. As we come out towards the taxiways, you can see the signage is just what we expect. Very nicely done. And there you've got the runway guard lights, what we call WIGWAGS in the UK. And again, they've used these really nice little globe centerline lights that give the glow, that make it look really nice. And you've got the blue airfield edge lights. Just a close-up of the runway entry sign there, and the WIGWAG looks really good. So we're heading towards the control tower building. Subtle lighting down there. And there you can see a fully lit tower interior. As I said, the only letdown is there's no controllers. A beautiful model of the inside of the tower, but no people. And I can't stress enough, you've now got people models, both animated and static, that really don't hit the frame rate at all. So you can literally load a scenery with people to give it some atmosphere without really taking much of a frame rate hit. And just a quick view inside the control tower. So we leave the control tower building and head east towards the central area, just to have a look at the lighting generally. I mean, it looks very pleasant indeed. There you can see the road signs. Slow this down a little bit. Car park is well lit. And then here, very nice. Just a handful of people, nothing more. But as you can see, they're not hitting the frame rate at all. Very nice land side of the terminal. A quick look at the car park here. All looking good. Can't see any Asobo globes. Here you've got these massive lights, but they're really not producing that much light. Here we've got the FEDEX facility. Nice subtle lighting on the building there. And it's pretty impressive. And as we head across the runway to the south side, here are the hangars that we looked at earlier. Again, some very nice subtle lighting on the buildings. Just a little bit devoid of life, unfortunately. You know, the modelling and the buildings and the lighting, I've got no complaints. It looks lovely. But the place just looks a bit like a ghost town. Would have been nice to see one or two of these hangars open, probably with an aircraft inside it. Engineers working. But other than that, no, it's fine. There's the US Customs Office. And this is the other side that we're looking at. On the, literally on the southern side of the airport. Very nice. So just looking at this section here of the connector, I'm just wondering if that, because you can see moving people in there. So this looks like possibly it might not be parallaxing. Let's see if we can get inside. And yes, there we are. We've got people, we've got a lounge, all inside the pier. Looks great. There's looking in the other direction. We've got an animated chap there. And he looks great, he looks really good, very, very natural. And a high definition figure, so it looks realistic. And this is the very far end where I thought we would have a quick look. Really nice indeed. So that was the airport at dusk. As you can see, the sun is going down rapidly as it does in these latitudes. You get darkness very quickly. Let's put it down to night time. Okay, 10 PM local time, and here's the view looking over the terminal complex. As you can see, the stands are well lit. You have green centerline taxiway lights to help you find your way into each of the stands. And the lighting's actually come up quite markedly. It's better at night time than it is at dusk. Not really sure why that is. Maybe it's a case of they've not really got proper control of the lighting here. But this does look good. There we are looking towards the east. Here's the fixed based operators that we looked at earlier on. Here's the fire station. And they're looking southwest. You've got the hangars, the US Customs building over here, and the various additional hangars and operators over there. Oh, it looks pretty impressive. And finally, looking towards the northwest, here you've got the threshold of runway 14. Here's a control tower, and all of this is nicely illuminated. So a quick look at the fire station while we're here. Here you've got the fire tenders that are unique to these Florida airports. All look pretty impressive. And here we are up close, and you can see the models are really detailed even up close. Very, very nice. And that's the facility from the other side. So a close-up look at the ramp. Here's my aircraft on Charlie 4. Yeah, lighting's excellent, really got no complaints. It looks great, it really does. And again, looking at some of the other stands, again, plenty of lighting. There's the north side of the pier. And here's just a wide shot here showing you this pier that we looked at inside earlier on. Again, pretty nice. Just a couple of shots landside. Again, perfectly adequate lighting. And here's a quick look at the lower level landside that we didn't look at earlier. Again, the same level of detail, can't see any people. And here we are at the very far end. As I said, still no people on the lower level landside. And another shot there looking back towards the landside terminal area, showing you the signage. It's great, it's really no complaints at all, it looks lovely. It's just a little devoid of activity, it's a little bit ghostish. There's a word for you. And finally a high level shot there showing you some airside and landside, and the lighting, you know, you can't argue, looks really good. Certainly at the night time it looks better than it is during dusk. They probably need to readjust the dusk lighting to make it look better. It's just my opinion, but there you go. You can't complain. It's a lovely airport. Okay, so let's bring the dawn up, and if I've done my positioning correctly, we'll get the sun come up behind us. Okay, 7:20 in the morning, and here you can see the sunrise reflecting on the buildings, giving you this lovely orangey red glow, which I think looks really impressive. And there we are, looking out towards the ocean in the east. Here's the FedEx facility, and you've got the sun coming up over the horizon. Very, very nice. Okay, 8:20 in the morning, and time to wrap up this review and give you my conclusions. So what do I think? Overall, this is a nice airport. It's typical of Beautiful Model in the World and Amsim. Generally they do good work, and they don't leave an awful lot to chance. It's not one of their best. Like I said, it lacks atmosphere. They've got a handful of people landside of the terminal down here, and you've got some people inside the connector here, but the rest of it has been left to parallaxing, which is good, but which tends to sort of fall apart the closer you get to the terminal. And it would have been nice to see them done a bit more. Like I said, there are now people models that don't hit the frame rate at all, so you can start populating airside here with airline staff, engineers or whatever. One or two of these hangars could be open with aircraft inside and engineers working on them. There's so much that could have been added here to bring this airport to life. They don't even have a controller inside a fully modelled control tower, and that's a real pity. But having said that, the roads, all the road system looks great. It's all 3D, and it merges really nicely with the default terrain here in Florida, and looks very good. You've got all these cars, a really wide variety of vehicles, all properly parked in their spaces. And at the end of the day, you know, for you pilots, it's going to look great. Flying in here, parking up during any time of the day or night, it's going to look lovely. Dusk is a bit suspect. I'd like to see them look again at the lighting for dusk, because nighttime looks better, and hard to see why that is, but it does look better than it does at dusk. But yeah, there's a few more bits and pieces they could do to this airport to really bring it to life without spending a load of time on it, I don't think. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so let's look at the price. Do I think it's worth the price? Okay, they're showing £16 UK, or just under $21 US, plus tax. It's probably just about there. You have to look on what the amount of work that's been done, and pretty much all of these buildings are weathered and textured, and they all look pretty realistic, right down to the fire station down there. And there's quite a bit of work with it that has been done for this to be merged nicely the way it has. The things I've suggested that they can improve on really don't alter the price, in my opinion. I think the price is it's about right. But it's a one-off. This is Palm Beach. If you want this airport, then this is certainly the best. But it's payware, so you'll need to buy it. And currently it's only available at the Inibuilds store, which is why I've quoted the prices in UK pounds to start with, and we've made estimates for the euro and the dollar. But yeah, it's another really nice airport. But I'm getting to the point now, getting on for 470 odd scenery reviews, where developers need to step up their game. There's more available and more capability in the sim now to really bring an airport much more to life. I understand this is a huge airport and it probably take a fair bit, but you know what, you could really improve this by adding a few more people doing their bits and pieces landside. The inside of the terminal isn't developed. I'm not going to worry about that so much. It's done quite nicely. I'd like to see some ramp activity, and maybe a couple of people in the car parks here. Here you've got the entrances here, no attendance. Control tower needs to be manned. and maybe a couple of open hangars here with aircraft inside and engineers, and you've got the customs building, and again you've got customs people, models of custom people that you could add. These are little bits and pieces that might take maybe a day to add to the scenery that would really enhance it. But Palm Beach as a standalone scenery at the moment, it looks great, and it's probably just about worth the price, and I quite like it, and it's another great little airport for you to fly into in Florida. So there you go folks, that wraps this one up. This is Palm Beach International Airport in Florida, Kilo Papa Bravo India. It's a payware scenery by the collaborators of Beautiful Model of the World and Amsim. This is the release version 1. Downloads at 668 meg and installs just over 1.6 gig. As I said, available only from the Inibuilds store currently, priced at £16.02, which equates to roughly €18.74 or $20.51 US. The US and Euro prices are estimates taken from the pound, and they do not include tax or VAT, so you'll need to add the VAT or tax for your local area. And of course it may vary depending on which part of the world you live in. But a nice scenery, yet a nicely modelled airport, beautifully done. More really that I could do. I'd like to see them. I really would like to see them take a second look at the lighting for dusk, and see how it matches with the night lighting. The night lighting looks best of all. The daytime looks great. Dusk lighting looks a little bit low for me. But that's just an observation. Anyway, there you go folks. If you've been on the fence about wondering whether to sort of get this airport, I hope this review has helped you. And yeah, stay tuned for the second review coming later this week. We're going to look at Aberdeen, and this time we're going to look at Gary Summons from UK 2000 Scenery, his version of Aberdeen, and see how it compares with the Aura Scenery version. So thanks for joining me guys. I hope you had a great Easter. Enjoy Easter Monday today, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting me, the many of you that do. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.